Have you ever noticed that when someone walks into your house, your dog immediately becomes wary? It stands still, ears perked up, intently observing, even growling or avoiding them. Meanwhile, you think everything is perfectly normal. Then one day, that same person disappoints you, deceives you, or hurts you. At that moment, you suddenly remember your dog's strange reaction and wonder, did it know something I didn't? It sounds like a coincidence, but many scientific studies show that dogs are actually better at judging people than we think. They don't look at appearances, they don't care if someone is well dressed or speaks eloquently. What they observe are the subtle signals in behavior, emotions, and even the chemical changes that the human body inadvertently emits. After tens of thousands of years of companionship with humans, dogs have evolved to become experts at reading emotions. They can recognize stress, insincerity, and how a person treats their owner. Sometimes, a dog's reaction isn't random, but the result of thousands of tiny signals processed by their brain in just a few seconds. In this video, we'll explore 8 amazing, scientifically proven abilities that help dogs identify trustworthy people and those to avoid. And the first ability might make you look at your dog in a completely different light. The first possibility is perhaps the most surprising to many scientists. Dogs not only observe how you treat them, but also silently monitor how others treat them. To verify this, researchers conducted a very simple experiment. A dog owner tried to open a box but failed. 2 strangers were standing nearby. In one situation, one person proactively stepped forward to help. In another situation, the other stood still, even turning away and refusing to help. What happened next was interesting. When both people offered the dog food, most of the dogs happily accepted the reward from the person who helped their owner. But with the person who coldly refused to help, the reaction was completely different. Many dogs turned away, refusing the food, even though they didn't know this person before. Think about it. The other person had never yelled at or hurt the dog. But after just a few minutes of observing how that person treated their owner, the dog's attitude changed. This shows that they don't just react instinctively, but also possess an astonishing ability to assess social behavior. Perhaps that's why sometimes your dog dislikes someone from the first meeting. Not because of their appearance, but because of the very small things in how they treat you that you might inadvertently overlook. And if that surprised you, the next ability is even more astonishing. Scientists have discovered that dogs not only recognize good or bad people, they also know when you're lying. But dogs' ability to judge people doesn't stop there. Scientists have also discovered that dogs can recognize when a person is no longer trustworthy. In an experiment in Japan, researchers placed 2 boxes in front of a dog, only one containing food. The first time, the trainer pointed to the correct box and the dog received a reward. But immediately afterward, the trainer deliberately pointed to the empty box. The dog followed suit and was disappointed to find nothing. By the third time, even though the trainer pointed to the box with food again, most of the dogs no longer trusted him. After just one deception, they began to suspect the person giving the signal. This shows that dogs not only know how to obey commands, but also remember the level of trustworthiness of each person through their actions. But if the ability to remember dishonesty is surprising enough, the next thing is even more touching. A dog's sense of smell is tens of thousands of times stronger than a human's. For them, scent not only helps identify a person, but also holds memories and emotions. When a dog smells its owner, its brain immediately recalls feelings of safety, petting, walks, and the love it received. That's why many dogs still recognize their owners after many years of separation. They not only remember your face, but also the scent associated with a lifetime. And that's why, when they lose a loved one, many dogs silently search for that familiar scent for a very long time. But scent isn't everything. In the next section, you'll learn that just by looking at your face, dogs can understand the emotions you're trying to hide. But surprisingly, dogs don't need to smell you to understand your emotions. Just by looking at your face, they can tell if you're happy or angry. In a study conducted in Austria, scientists showed dogs images of faces displaying only 2 clear emotions, happiness and anger. Remarkably, the images were cropped, revealing only half the face, to remove other easily recognizable signs. After a short training period, the dogs were still able to accurately identify the emotions on completely new faces they had never seen before. This proves that they don't memorize individual faces, but rather truly understand human expressions. Even more interesting is that even before training, many dogs showed wariness towards angry faces. It seems that after thousands of years living alongside humans, they have learned that an angry face is often associated with danger. But the face isn't the only signal. Sometimes, even when you're smiling and trying to appear calm, your body is inadvertently revealing a completely different story. Whenever you feel anxious or distrustful of someone, your body subtly changes. Stress hormones increase, and your sweat and body odor change. Humans can barely notice these changes, but with a nose containing hundreds of millions of olfactory receptors, dogs can detect them almost instantly. Perhaps that's why your dog sometimes becomes wary of someone before you even realize something is wrong. It's not reading your mind. It's simply sensing the signals your body is inadvertently sending out. But the next ability is what truly amazes scientists. Dogs not only detect emotions, they can also detect illnesses within the human body. The next ability is not only astonishing but is also being applied in modern medicine. Dogs not only recognize human emotions, but they can also detect very subtle changes within the body that many medical devices take a long time to detect. Studies show that some diseases, such as cancer, diabetes, or even epilepsy, produce characteristic chemical compounds in breath, sweat, or urine. With noses far more sensitive than humans, dogs can detect these changes very early. Today, many organizations around the world have trained dogs to warn patients before dangerously low blood sugar levels or to signal an impending seizure, giving them enough time to react before the situation becomes serious. But while their ability to sniff out diseases is already amazing, there is still one skill that almost every dog uses every day: reading body language. For humans, a smile can mask true emotions. But for dogs, words aren't as important as how you stand, how you walk, or the way you look at others. They can sense tension in your shoulders, hesitant steps, or a defensive posture in seconds. That's also why some people are always very friendly, yet their dog keeps its distance. Not because it's difficult, but because the signals from that person's body tell a completely different story. Dogs don't just listen to what we say, they observe what we unconsciously express. And after all these amazing abilities, there's still one big secret. That's why dogs can understand humans in a way no other animal on Earth can. And that's the final possibility and the explanation for everything we've just discovered. Dogs understand humans because they've lived alongside us for tens of thousands of years. Scientists believe that dogs and humans have been together for about 15,000 to 40,000 years. Throughout that time, dogs that were good at observing emotions, understanding human signals, and knowing how to cooperate had a higher chance of survival. Over countless generations, that ability gradually became part of the instincts of dogs today. That's why dogs can understand our gaze, voice, gestures, and emotions better than any other animal. Some studies even show that dogs react to loving human voices in brain regions, similar to how humans process emotions. Perhaps that's why, when you're sad, your dog often quietly comes to lie beside you. When you're stressed, your dog will approach you without you having to call. And when it suddenly becomes wary of a stranger, it's very likely noticing signals you haven't yet recognized. That doesn't mean dogs are always right or can see through people, but science shows that their reactions are often based on many signals of scent, expression, body language, and emotion that humans easily overlook. So, the next time your dog reacts unusually to someone, instead of dismissing it, take a moment to observe more closely. Now, I'd love to hear your story. Has your dog ever shown affection or particular wariness towards someone, and only later understood why? Please share your experience in the comments. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share so more dog owners can learn more about these amazing four-legged friends who silently protect us every day.